Imagine small canals, add little colorful houses, the scent of freshly baked biscuits or tasty grilled fish. Mix well, and what you will get is the pretty island of Burano, located north of the Venetian lagoon. This wonderful gem is home to a community of just over 2,000 souls and is famous for its charm and more. In this episode, I want to tell you the known and lesser known reasons that made it famous. But let's proceed by points. I invite you to watch the video to the end because I will amaze you with some curiosities. Let's start with Burano lace, which has always been considered among the most elegant and sophisticated in the world. It is done by drawing on wax paper, on which layers of thicker ones are machine sewn in such a way as to create a guideline. Everything is then placed on a pillow and with only a needle and cotton thread, without ever going through all the layers. All 7 necessary phases are created. At the end, the machine work is cut away with a razor blade, so that only the part done by hand remains. This technique seems to be more than 5 centuries old and was the most precious part of the decoration of the clothes worn by the Venetian noblewomen. Around the 18th century, this tradition exploded throughout Europe, especially in France, with a demand that far exceeded the supply since this art had almost disappeared. It was therefore necessary to open a lace school, which would also help to raise the fate of poverty in which the island found itself, whose economy was based exclusively on fishing. The girls were therefore allowed to learn a job that could help the major family budget. The school also offered heating and lighting, making production more efficient. During the spring, until a few years ago, it was not difficult to walk around the island and find the lace makers sitting outside the house trying to make the most of the sunlight. The work is so meticulous that any mistake can diminish its value. The school closed in 1978, and today we can visit the Lace Museum. To this day, it is still possible to watch the production, thanks to the last lace makers who make demonstrations in the artisan shop of the island. This tradition is quickly disappearing, also due to the fact that each worker is specialized in only a part of the production due to its difficulty of execution. The legend of Burano lace is among the most romantic. A fisherman in love and betrothed to a girl on the island, during one of his outings at sea, came across a group of mermaids who tried to seduce him with their song. The men resisted firmly, thus earning the admiration of their queen, who, impressed by his loyalty, decided to reward him. The mermaid struck the side of the ship with her tail, and from the foam that rose from the sea and petrified, wove a wedding veil for the bride-to-be. When the wedding day arrived, the fisherman gave the veil to his fiancée, who became the object of admiration and envy among the other young women of the island, who, desiring an equally splendid veil, began to imitate the embroidery using needle and thinner threads. Why are the houses in Burano so colorful? There is no official version, but it seems that the women of the island wanted to offer help to the fishermen trying to find their way home on foggy days. Others think that the colors were used to distinguish the families of the same name. Arriving by boat on the island, you cannot fail to notice the peculiarity of the crooked bell tower of the Church of San Martino. The reason is to be found in the muddy ground on which most of the buildings in the lagoon rest. Its inclination is 1.83 meters. The structure suffered the first subsidence already during the construction phase, which progressed slowly until after the Second World War, a period in which there were rapid increases to the point that in the 70s of last century, the municipality of Venice carried out a static consolidation intervention. The bussola is the biscuit of the island. The recipe is very simple: flour, sugar, lots of butter, but above all, lots of eggs, all flavored with vanilla and lemon zest. They can have a circular or S shape, be small or large, but it doesn't matter. What really matters is that they should not accompany coffee, but be dipped in sweet wine. Burano is still famous for being the fisherman's island, and the restaurants are over the top. The typical risotto di go is created thanks to a fish full of bones with an intense and delicate taste, from whose broth only all the flavors are extracted. The cuisine is simple and rely on the fact that the product is local and very fresh. Let them suggest you on the catch of the day. You won't regret it. What's the relationship between Santa Barbara, Burano, and the firefighters? Well, you should know that she is venerated and buried right here, in the only church of the island, that of San Martino. Saint Barbara is a Christian martyr of the 3rd century, whose figure is surrounded by a legend full of fantastic details. Her father, Dioscorus, locked her in a tower to prevent her from following the Christian faith, but Barbara managed to be baptized on her own. After being captured and tortured for her faith, she was beheaded by her father. A bolt of lightning descended from heaven and destroyed Dioscorus, symbolizing divine justice. The cult spread widely, with several cities claiming his birth or possession of the relics. Traditionally, it is believed that her body was transferred from Egypt to Constantinople at the behest of Emperor Justin. From there, the cult spread to the west, reaching Italy. In the year 1000, during the reign of Basil II, the Venetians brought some relics of the saint to Venice after helping the emperor against the Saracens, and from 1003 they were housed in St. Mark's Basilica and then transferred in 1810 to Burano. Her devotion is widespread, especially among those who work with explosive materials such as firefighters, bomb disposal, or pyrotechnicians who invoke her protection.